So my name is Patrick Williamson, and I am a brand consultant. And this poses a difficult challenge to me because I sometimes, as a brand consultant, have difficulty explaining to people exactly what it is I do. So that's why I put together this presentation tonight. It's an attempt to try to explain what is brand in 20 slides. Wish me luck. So what is brand? I work for a brand consultancy, and we struggle with this question every day. What is brand? How do we sell ourselves to people? I'm often asked by people, so what do you do? And I say, I'm a brand consultant. And sometimes this doesn't mean very much to people, and they will say, oh, so you mean like Louis Vuitton? And while branding, so branding does have a lot to do with Louis Vuitton. Luxury brands are arguably the most successful brands. But people usually look a little bit disappointed when they find out that I don't work for Louis Vuitton. Occasionally, some wise ass will answer, oh, you mean like branding cattle? Well, this is obviously not what I do. It is actually the origins of branding. So when cattle owners branded cattle in order to keep them from being stolen or claimed by other ranchers, they actually created a system of distinguishing between products. That is branding. But brand is much more than just the mark on a cow or a bag. It's actually what people think and feel about your product, service, or company. This guy, Z. Frank, he is a Web 2.0 entertainer. He says brand is an emotional aftertaste that's dependent on a series of experiences. So, the more powerful the experience, the more powerful the brand. Now, a lot of people think of brand as a product, but anything could be a brand. Hawaii is a brand, and I think we all agree that Hawaii is a very strong brand. So brands like Hawaii are built up through a series of interactions that people have with the brand. It's possible to influence these interactions, but it's impossible to control what people think about the brand. So no matter how hard you try to tell people what the brand is, in the end, it's what they believe about the brand. This website called Brand Tags demonstrates this very nicely. It allows you to input a word or phrase about a brand, and these are collated in tags. So if you can see on the left, I'm not sure how well you can see this, but this is Microsoft. People associate Microsoft with annoying, antitrust, Apple, and assholes. And that's just the A's. So, we're constantly forming these associations every time we interact with the brand. So, for example, someone wants to go on vacation to Hawaii. They don't know anything about Hawaii. They read a guidebook, they talk to a friend, they watch an online video. Already, they've developed a fairly complex understanding of Hawaii. So, the best way for a company to manage these interactions and associations, what people think about the brand, is through what we call the customer journey. And the customer journey is all of the interactions that people have over the course of their relationship with the brand. So every interaction is an opportunity for you to make a positive impression, to win over, to engage. A negative point of interaction would be one that fails to engage a potential customer and in the end turns them off and makes a negative impression. Okay, so a lot of companies are starting to realize this. Starbucks, for example, created this website a couple years ago called My Starbucks Idea. And My Starbucks Idea allows people to log on and make recommendations about what they would like to see improve in the Starbucks experience. So what companies like Starbucks are trying to do with these kinds of initiatives is to bridge the brand gap, to create credibility. And by creating credibility, that means that you're bridging the gap between how you perceive yourself and how others perceive you. Strong brands are also try to stay relevant to their customers, and they do this by understanding the needs of their customers and changing marketing conditions, and by creating utility for their customers. And they do this by activating their customers to participate and interact with the brand. Strong brands are also differentiated. They stand out from the crowd. So there's a lot of cars on the road. A lot of them look the same. They're pretty bland looking. But every so often there is a car that knows exactly what it is. Unfortunately, I don't drive one of these. So credibility, relevance, and differentiation. All of these things are built up through the customer experience over time through interactions that people have with the brand. And these interactions can be categorized as the visual, what you see, the verbal, what you hear, and the behavioral, how they treat you. So the visual is the one that people most often associate with branding. It's the most apparent. This is a good example. Starbucks coffee cup and logo. It's become an iconic visual symbol that people associate with much more than just a cup of coffee. It's a strong brand. The verbal is the language of the brand. It's how the brand talks about itself. It's the messages that it sends to the customers. Now, Starbucks also uses its cup as a message board to communicate with customers and to enrich and reinforce the experience that they have with the brand. The behavioral is arguably the most influential, but also the most difficult to control. Starbucks built its brand by engaging people and causing them to be advocates for the brand. So let me sum up what I've said in 20 slides. A brand is an emotional aftertaste formed by interactions. These interactions are opportunities for you to connect visually, verbally, and behaviorally with your customer to become more credible, relevant, and differentiated. So I think I've explained branding. I'm not sure if I've explained what I do. But anyway, my name is Patrick Williamson, and I work for a brand consultancy called Bedrock. Thank you very much for listening.